Hello, my friends. Today we are going to be doing a lesson on minor threats version of a really cool song called Stepping Stone. This is a really energetic song. It's fast. It's easy to play. And if you've never learned power chords before, today is your lucky day because once you learn a power chord, you got yourself a guitar, you got yourself an amp. You can play music, my friend. You can play punk rock and roll. You can go out and get a band right now. As soon as you can take this 10-minute lesson, learn a power chord with your guitar and your amp, and you can go start a band. And you can play live, and people will dig that stuff. So let's go. Let's get to it. What is a power chord? A power chord is just a root note, and then the fifth up from that note. That's a basic power chord. So really, once you know that, you can take that anywhere on the fretboard. I'm going to move a little bit closer here so you can have a look for all you beginners out there. Essentially, you take your index finger, and let's say you want to play a G power chord, okay? By the way, we're in standard tuning, and you'll also notice, if you look really closely, I'm missing the high E string. I barely play my electric anymore. I broke a string on a long time ago, and I haven't bothered to replace it because I barely play it anymore. But when you're playing punk rock, you really don't need it, to be honest. You need like these 3, maybe 4 strings, because you're only playing. So, standard tuning, E, A, D, G, B, what would normally be E, even though I'm missing it. Again, it's beautiful. You can be missing a whole bunch of strings on your guitar, and I've seen bands play. I've seen guys play with a bunch of strings missing. They don't bother to tune. I do. But anyway, here we go. If you want to play G, you have to open E, and when you fret up, you're going to go E, F, F sharp, G. So that 3rd fret on your 6th string right here. Make sure you got that one. Your G note, so your 3rd fret on your 6th string. And then you're going to take your D note, which is your 5th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on your 5th string, okay? And you play those 2. And one trick you can kind of do to mute the other strings, again, when you're playing electrically and you've got the distortion cranked up, it's a lot more forgiving than acoustic because that distortion kind of muffles some of that. But if you want to clean it up, what you do is you just rest your index finger without pressing them on the other strings. You just kind of rest it, but you push this one. So you lightly touch. See how it kind of, when you strum the 5, 4, 3, 2 string and the 1, you had it. If I had it, that mutes those so that they're not playing a bunch of mashed stuff, or they're not just playing open. It doesn't have this open stuff here. And then you can move that chord up and down your fretboard anywhere you want on the root 6 power chord. So practice that. By the way, this opens up a whole new world to Ramones and Stooges and AC/DC and all kinds of stuff where power chords, right? In this song, Stepping Stone by Minor Threat, we're going to play an open E power chord, which is basically the same thing, but because you can't, when you're playing E, a low E power chord, there's no fret to press because low E is open. But you have to hit that, what would be the equivalent of the 5th on the 5th string is your 2nd fret, 5th string. And then you play open E and 2nd fret on the 5th string. That's an E bar chord. And then so that's the first chord that we play. Alright? And then we play a G power chord. When I play my power chords, I tend to thicken them up a little bit. I drop my pinky in on the string below it. It just adds another octave of the root, but you don't have to. You can just play it like this. Then we're going to slide it up to the A, which is 5th fret, 6th string and the 7th fret of the 5th string. We're also going to play a C chord, C power chord, which is the same chord shape, except for you put the root on the 5th string. 3rd fret, 5th string with your index. And then you drop your ring finger on to the 5th fret of your 4th string. And you play only the 5th and the 4th strings. And remember how I talked about muting the strings with your index, sort of the meaty part of your index right here? So that meaty part right there on the higher strings. Well, in this case, what you want to do is I take this part of my finger right here, just that part of my index when I'm playing the power chord, and I just touch it lightly to that low E. And it just, again, it just kind of mutes it so it's not ringing out on top of what you're playing. It kind of ruins it. But at least if you mute it a little bit by touching it while you fret the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and then you just touch that 6th string, and then you add in the 5th down here, 4th string, 5th fret. Okay, so far we have the open E power chord, G power chord, A power chord, C power chord. Those are the only chords you need for this song. There's one small part. Here's the chord progression. So it's E, G, A, C. E, G, A, C. It's fast. E, G, A, C. E, G, A, C. And that's the singing part. That's the oh, not your stepping stone. Oh, not your stepping stone. I guarantee you, if you start a band and you play this at a punk rock show, people should sing along. If they don't, tell them to go find a song and listen to it, because they should know this. It's a great song. The only other part, or it's two other parts actually. One is it's so it goes E, G, A, G. So that's your open E, and then your 3rd fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret. It just goes back to the G. G, A, G. And I usually do a bit of palm muting when I'm playing that. If you're not familiar with palm muting, it's just a technique that you use pretty specifically in electric, especially heavy metal or punk. Players use it a lot, where they will tend to just mute. You just use the fleshy part of your hand here. Kind of experiment with that. So move your hand further up and down. If you kind of rest it right on the bridge, you just get a light mute. If you move it up, you'll really start to chug. And so just experiment with that, with where you want it and where it sounds good in each song. But essentially, the way I do it is just to mute it lightly in different places, and you'll hear it open up when I do the whole song. You'll hear it kind of opens it up. You still play at the same speed, but it just gives the song a bit more energy and gives it a bit of dynamic, because there aren't very many chords to this song, so you got to find ways to give it dynamics. And palm muting is one of those ways. And the only other part is kind of an interlude between the chorus, I guess you call it, and the verses. And essentially, they play. It's this part. Which is just an open E, low string, E string, and you let that ring out, and then you play E here on your 5th string, and then you play a D, so the 7th fret, 5th string, and then 5th fret, D string, which is a D note, and then you play a B down here, which is your 2nd fret of your 5th string. And then it goes back. And the way I play it, which sort of approximates what they play on the album, is the strumming. As far as the strumming goes, anyways, I'll play it slow. So you're playing it's all downstrokes. Slower. That's basically the song. Oh, not your stepping stone. Oh, not your stepping stone. Trying to make a mark in society. Right? And then I'm going to play it for you, and then you're going to learn it. You're going to go start a band, and it's going to be amazing. Check it out. Steppin' stone. I minor threat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, not just stepping stone. Oh, not just stepping stone. Trying to make a mark in society, using all the tricks that you use on me. Reading all those high fashion magazines, pleasure when they're causing public scenes. Oh, not just stepping stone. Oh, not just stepping stone. Not just stepping stone. Not just stepping stone. When I first met you, girl, you didn't have no shoes. Now you're walking around like a front page news. You've been awful careful about the friends you choose. You won't find my name in the book of rules. 'Cause I'm not just stepping stone. Not just stepping stone. Not just stepping stone. So, oh, not just stepping